Okay. So with all that being said, if you had to pick, um, what is the order of these top three teams at the end of the season, like seeding wise, one, two, three, and which team do you think is coming out of the East?
See, I honestly think in terms of regular season, I honestly still think it's going to be the same it is right now. So I think
Mm-hmm.
Bucks will end up first seed, Celtics will be the second seed, and Sixers will be the third seed,
Mm-hmm.
unless they fall off a cliff. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
they're still playing fairly well.
Okay.
But the team that I picked to make the finals is actually going to be the Celtics.
Okay.
Even though, despite the coaching and whatnot, I do think overall better, they have a deeper team
Mm-hmm.
than the other two, and they have a pretty much a superstar at this point in Jason Tatum. And I wouldn't say Jalen Brown is a superstar quite yet, like to the level of Jason Tatum, but I think he's just a notch under.
Okay.
And I feel like
So
you're going to disagree with that, but
I I agree with you about the order. This the Bucks are just really hot right now. Um, I and the Celtics, they have been slipping, but I feel like they can. I feel like they will be able to kind of maintain this lead enough on the Sixers. There is a chance the Sixers catch the Celtics for number two, but
possible. But
um, I mean the Celtics lost three games that were relatively close. So I mean, I feel like just fine tuning some of their late game executions. In terms of who I think will finish, this is really hard. I definitely don't think it'll be the Sixers. I think the Sixers will lose to either the Bucks or the Celtics in the second round.
okay, that's it. You never know. I think.
Um, in terms of between the Celtics and the Bucks, this is so hard. Um, if it was Udoka coaching, I would probably pick the Celtics. Um, with the Bucks having home court, the Bucks having the best player, man, I really want to pick the Celtics because I think they're just an overall better team. But um,
Like for me, it's
I
just the depth, to be honest, because they have Brogdon and Derek White, who I think can
I
add a ton of value.
I flip back and forth on this. Um,
Yeah, they
I
definitely have
will.
Giannis,
I
who's
think.
better
I
than
think
Tatum,
I would
but
choose. I think I would choose the Bucks purely because home court. I don't think home court will matter too much when they play against the Celtics. I feel like both teams can win at home and on the road. I don't think it'll matter that much. Um, the Bucks will probably have an easier path to the conference finals. I I don't think that the Cavs will pose much of a threat to the Bucks. I feel like the Bucks can win that in five, at at worst six. I feel like the Celtics. What hurt the Celtics last year is every series went 7 games, excluding the 4 game sweep of the Nets. But every series went 7 games, and their playoff rotation is not too deep. They trust 8 players in the playoffs, right? And two of those players are Brogdon and Robert Williams are relatively injury prone, so I worry about that. And I feel like the Celtics are gonna, if they play the Sixers as a 2-3 matchup, assuming that's what ends up being, I feel like that series is going easily 6, if not 7. So I feel like the Bucks will be rested a little bit more, and I feel like they will just edge out the Celtics just because of just minor things. Having a slightly better top player, better rebounding advantages. They have so many wing players to throw at Tatum and Brown. As you mentioned with Holiday, Crowder, Connaughton,
right, but
Matthews, and so
mhm.
forth. I do think it will go 7, but I just I just trust Coach Bud more so than I trust Mazzulla, to be quite frank. Again, this is Udoka. I think I would go Celtics, but we have seen last season in the finals when Coach Kerr outcoached Udoka in certain situations, right? Um, and for me, I trust a championship coach over a rookie coach who was the second assistant last year. That's just me. Um, Especially when the talent is like right there. I feel like if the talent's like right there, then the coaching is what the coaching or the best player, it kind of takes the team above just slightly. So that's why I think I would go with the Bucks. But honestly, man, I might
It's
change my
kind of a
mind
toss
next
up.
week.
We'll
I'm
see. Because at the
it's
end of the day, like I think the problem, I think the biggest issue with me is the status of Middleton. Because
yeah.
if Middleton was playing like he did in the past, I would easily pick the Bucks, honestly.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
if you look at like, because I think for me, why I'm picking the Celtics is like Jason Tatum is, in my opinion, at a superstar level at this point. And yes, I do
Agreed.
agree that Giannis is better, but if you look at like a Tatum Brown combination, as in like the top two players
It's better.
versus Giannis and I guess now Drew Holiday, or it depends on how you view it before. I mean, because you can make an argument between Middleton and
Yeah.
Drew Holiday in the past, but now
Celtics have the
it's
better
more
pair. Yeah.
clear. In my opinion, I think the Celtics have a better pair because I think Brown is a
Agreed.
better second. And the difference between Tatum and Giannis, I don't think as it's as big as a gap as people think it is.
I agree with you there.
Because I
Like,
mean, this
yeah.
season, I mean, even last season, like Jason Tatum has improved even more,
Yeah.
and I think he's hungry to kind of redeem himself after losing the
Yeah.
finals last year.
Like the only real difference between Giannis and Tatum is Giannis is a better defender, right? They're both great offensive players. They have different offensive skill sets,
Mhm.
but they're no one can stop either player. Both are great at playmaking as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
The only difference is Giannis is a defensive player year candidate consistently. Tatum, while he's a good defender, he flirts with second all NBA team defense. I think he flirts with it. I don't think he will get there, but he flirts with it. But the gap between Tatum and Giannis is relatively small, in my opinion. So I agree with you there.
And then like I think Jaylen Brown is a better player than Holiday and
Agreed.
definitely better than Middleton the way he's playing right now.
Agreed. Agreed.
And just the depth, like I mean, the guard play with Brogdon, which is a great acquisition. And then also with guys like Derek White who can add some additional scoring off the bench.
Mhm.
And then Mark Smart, who has proven to be a good leader for the team.
Mhm.
A lot of experience, a great playmaker, so you don't have to necessarily rely on Brown or Tatum to make plays or anything like that. So
Mhm.
and then also, I mean, assuming healthy, they have good defensive big men who can guard the other team's bigs, like Williams and both Williamses, uh, Grant and Robert.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Okay.
overall, that's the reason why I'm picking the Celtics. I just think personnel there, and in
Yeah.
addition to, I mean, yeah, I can understand your point with coaching, but again, I don't want to write someone off just because they don't have that much experience. Because if you think about it, I guess Udoka did have a lot of coaching experience prior to getting the head coaching role, but he's only been a head coach for a short period of time as well.
Agreed.